Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one it's, well, something a bit different and also something that you've seen a hell of a lot, because it's Prince of Persia yet again, but this time it's the Commodore 64 version. Now, when Prince of Persia came out, there wasn't a Commodore 64 version. Indeed, it was said that the game couldn't be done on an 8-bit computer. This video will show that that's utter bollocks. Now, this game is pretty new. This came out in 2011. It's a public domain game, so you can download it for free. It's available as a disc image or a cartridge image. I'm playing the cartridge image, and I think you will agree that what they've done is staggering. Now, the game has everything that's in the Amiga original, including the intro sequence. I don't really want to sit through the whole intro sequence, so what we'll do, we'll get straight on with the game. I don't want this video to go on for too long, but I mean, here we are. This is just regular Commodore 64, well, through the emulator, but I mean, we've got all of the animations. It's instantly recognisable as Prince of Persia. We've got, obviously the sound effects aren't quite up there with the Amiga version, but you know, you can't expect it to be, you know, fucking identical. So what I'll do for this video is I'll just make my way through level 1. And then that will suffice. If you want to see more of the game, check out my Amiga review. So you can see there is a bit of slowdown, but I mean, for fuck's sake, this is a computer with 64K, and only I think it's 56K of it is available if you are programming with machine code assembler. Someone like Gan's Teeth or Lemon Amiga will be able to provide all of the necessary details as far as that's concerned. But I mean, the game is, well, it's a completely faithful copy of the Amiga original. So we have the sword. Make our way back. So graphically, I say it's an unbelievable achievement. The whole thing is an unbelievable achievement. They've done, you know, just supremely well. Because my last video for this channel showed a tech demo of this game for another computer. What I shall do is, at the end of this video, I'll add another video which will reveal the answer as to what computer was running that one. So we are now approaching the guard. There he is. That's been dealt with. Here we are at the way out. And that is level 1 done. We have all the cutscenes and everything, so it is an exact replica of the Amiga version, but for the Commodore 64. So, say as a technical exercise, even if you're not a fan of Prince of Persia, you can't help but be impressed that this even exists. Oh, bollocks. And I'll try and get up there, and then that will collapse as well, right on my head. I believe the technical term for that is fuck up. As I could do with a potion there. Ah, right on cue. So we'll grab the potion. So that's us back at full health. So anyway, I mean, yeah, graphics are fantastic for a Commodore 64 version. Sound is great. Gameplay is identical. No two ways about it. It's just a seriously good version. I fucked that up big time. So I will score this 10 out of 10, no doubt about it. It's just fantastic. And as I say, if you are a fan of retro gaming, even if you are not a fan of the original Prince of Persia, you just simply got to give it a go. It's just it's a great job. Jordan Mechner himself is one of the people responsible for this version. He was one of the programmers. You know, I mean, who better to get on your side if you're going to do something like this than the original programmer? And it shows, because he's done supremely well. So we have another guard there. But I think, you know, that's shown, you know, plenty of the game. Yeah, I'll give it 10 out of 10. They've done a fantastic job. They've achieved close to the impossible, really, especially if you believe what was said back in the day, that getting Prince of Persia onto an 8-bit computer was impossible. Clearly that is not the case. So there you go, that brings this part of the video to an end. Next is the part revealing the mystery computer that was running the Prince of Persia tech demo. Well, this one certainly got quite the response. So there were plenty of guesses. Some I expected, some I certainly didn't expect. I remember there was someone who guessed Acorn Archimedes. If the Archimedes version of Prince of Persia looked like this, then, well, there would have been hell to pay for Acorn. So, what computer was it for? Well, let's just get ourselves down there. It's a Commodore computer. It's not the Spectrum, which a few people guessed. I had a feeling the Spectrum would be guessed at some point. It's not the Game Boy. That I had a feeling that was going to be guessed as well. But no, it wasn't that either. The closest for the longest time was the VIC-20. Somebody guessed that. And the computer that it's actually for is little more than a rather jumped up VIC-20. It was eventually guessed by John Gage, though the guess was purely by default because it was one of the few computers that hadn't already been guessed at the time. But this is a tech demo for the Commodore 16. So if people who around back in the day were thinking it doesn't look too impressive, maybe now that you know that this is for the Commodore 16 and that's what's running this, or that's what it was programmed for, then maybe it's a whole different matter. And bearing in mind that on the original Amiga version, the chances are the animations themselves probably took up more than 16K, and yet here we have a tech demo of the game running on a Commodore 16, a computer that only had 16K of RAM in total. So just to show, stub my fag out. If we take it out of full screen mode, you'll see that I'm actually running it on a Commodore Plus 4 emulator, simply because I don't have a Commodore 16 emulator. But of course Commodore 16 games could be run on the Plus 4, but if you I don't know how well you're going to see it in this video, but there it is. That's the file. If you have a Commodore 16 emulator and you feel like checking it out and you can't download it anywhere, let me know and I'll send you the file. But yes, that is it. So Commodore 16 is the answer. And personally I think that given that this is running on a Commodore 16, it's fucking impressive. You know, to get just the animations alone working on a Commodore 16 is quite the achievement. Obviously the game was never released for a Commodore 16, but getting this much onto that computer is, well, it's doing phenomenally well. So there you go, mystery solved. Commodore 16 is the answer. So that brings this video to an end, and we will see you at the next one.